Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. I wanted to record this very quick live stream. I want to speak specifically to listing agents. This is a message that I hope every agent in Fresno, California hears and reaches out to me if they have an opportunity. But in reality, I think this is a message that all listing agents need to hear. I believe, frankly, if you are a home seller, you need to hear this message. If you are looking to sell your home today, it is very obvious to anyone that is watching that with higher rates, the buyer pool has collapsed. We have seen record demand destruction. We are also seeing record supply destruction as we are seeing a time where if you want to sell, you simply won't. However, as a seller, there are some times that you need to sell. Life happens. It doesn't always happen at the best of time. And sometimes you need to sell. If you're a listing agent today and you are representing a buyer who needs to sell, I hope you hear this message. If you are in Fresno, California, where I'm looking to buy and deploy millions of dollars, I really hope you hear this message. But if you need to sell in this market, I think there are a couple of things that we need to have a conversation about. First, for the last couple of years, listing was easy. Buying was hard. I think for the next couple of years, generally speaking, if you have money, buying will be easy, but selling will be hard. If you are a listing agent, specifically in Fresno, but this message will apply around the country, really around the world. Something that I would do as a listing agent today is I would have a couple of conversations with the seller. My first question would be really around what's your equity position, right? There will be sellers who have lots of equity, may own it free and clear. According to Black Knight, roughly speaking, 27% of all residential homes do not have loans. Think about that, 27%. Others have very high equity. We're talking 60, 70, 80% equity. If your seller has a lot of equity, I think you need to talk to them about seller financing. We are undoubtedly in for a year, year and a half, maybe even 2 years of frankly below trend sales. I have been calling for upwards of a 50% crash in transactions. So if you are a seller that needs to sell in that environment, I am afraid you will have two options, really three. One, at some point, you may give up and take one of these low ball cash offers. For example, if you have a listing in Fresno, California, and it's a $750,000 home, it's a nice home, it's in the top 10, 15% of homes, there's not a lot of buyers, right? A $750,000 home in Fresno today at, call it 7.5%, 8% interest, it's a payment that very, very few people can afford. So that listing at 750 is going to sit. But maybe at some point, given your seller has a lot of equity, maybe they take a $500K cash offer after letting it sit for 127 days. I don't know about you, but as a listing agent, I think that's a failure. I think that's a failed attempt. What might be a better approach is to go to your listing or go to your seller and go, hey, I know we tried to sell this thing. We've held 3 open houses. It's just bad timing. Do you really need to sell? Yes, we want to sell. We want to go do this. We want to go do that, whatever. What if we did this? I have a guy, right? I have this guy named Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, right? I'm talking to Fresno agents here, but take this message for any market you would like. So there's a listing agent in Fresno, California, $750,000 home. So I have this guy, Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. He is looking to buy a couple of very nice rental properties, which your home clearly is. But, given that he's a landlord, he needs to make sure he can cash flow every month, right? He doesn't buy for appreciation. So what he is willing to do for us is he's willing to give us our price. He will give us $750,000. He is not going to be one of these guys that come in at $500 or $499 and try to steal your property. He's going to pay your price. Second, he's going to bring real money to the table. He's not trying to do some 100% financing, silent second, blah, blah, blah. He's going to bring real money. He's in fact, he's going to bring 10% to the table. He's going to bring $75,000. That's what you can use to pay, commissions, closing costs, and walk away with some money. But here's the deal. This is what Michael will need to buy your very nice home is he's going to need to figure out what it would rent for. We are then going to have to structure the monthly payments so that he cash flows every month. And then lastly, Michael's going to need at least 20 years. He would prefer 30 so that we can get through this crazy time. So again, what Michael's going to give you is an ability to move on. He's going to give you some cash at closing. He's going to give you some monthly income. And you're going to have a secured position. What do you think? If you're interested, I suggest all three of us have a phone conversation. So again, this kind of talk track will get deals done. There is a chance that if this works in Fresno, we could do, if it really worked and we really had agents working with us and deals coming, we could probably do 30, maybe 35 of these, right? We would do some of those with cash. We would do lots of those with 1031 exchanges. It would be awesome to upgrade our portfolio in quality. So if you're a listing agent in Fresno, California, I hope you are hearing this. You are having listings age. You are at risk of losing a listing. If you take the moment to have a conversation and just whet the appetite, maybe we can have a conversation that's win-win-win. Your seller is able to move on. Your seller gets some cash. Your seller gets their price. Your seller gets some income for the next 20 to 30 years. You as the agent, you get paid. You don't lose money. You don't get frustrated. What do I get? I get a nice property. I get cash flow every month. And I get 20 years to let the market do what the market's going to do. So it's really a win-win-win. So if you're in Fresno, California, I would love to have that conversation. If you have a listing, a nice property, I want to hear from you. Second, maybe you are working with a seller that needs to sell that doesn't have equity. Maybe they were like a couple of people we heard from the last 2 weeks. One is a veteran who just purchased a home that is being, I think it's called transfer duty stations. I never served, so I may be saying that incorrectly, but I think that's what's happened. And he has a VA loan. Well, good news. He reached out to us at the hub in Fresno, and we may be able to put together a deal where we just assume his VA loan, right? VA loans are assumable. So we're having those conversations right now. A second one was a divorce situation. Unfortunately, they bought their home 9, maybe 10 months ago now. And they're done, right? They're done with each other. They're done with the house. The house had bad memories, but unfortunately, they came in with an FHA loan, 3.5% down. So we're seeing where we can help. Unfortunately, if you've watched my channel, I don't have a great picture about 2023. So I think if you want to sell, it's obviously not a great time. Probably makes more sense to just stay put and see how the dust settles. But there are people that need to sell. So if you're in Fresno, California, we want to help, right? I want to upgrade my portfolio to nice properties. If you are in a situation where you just need to get out and maybe it's an assumption or some other creative financing, let's reach out to myself or Adam at the Hub. We have a whole playlist on this channel called The Hub. Just check it out. They give their phone numbers and all of that. So again, listing agents, you need to get more creative. You need to see your job's harder today. It just is. But as a listing agent, so there's a couple of things I think about. if I was a buyer's agent, one of the happiest days would be helping a buyer buy a home, right? You stand in front of it, you hand them their keys. How cool is that, right? But sometimes when you're a listing agent, you just know your sellers need to get out. And in an environment where rates could be 8% a minute, needing to sell today is horrible timing. But as a listing agent, you need to get creative. I think it is your job as a listing agent, as a professional, to figure out every way humanly possible to help your client. If you're in Fresno, California, good news, I want to help you. If you're around the country, find other investors, skill up, do all these things. So again, if you're a listing agent in Fresno, California, and you have a nice listing that nobody is looking at, and the seller has equity, please reach out to me, reach out to my team at the Hub. I know there's a way we can get a win-win-win deal. You're going to get paid. You're going to double in the deal most likely, because I'm not, if you bring it to me, you can have both sides. So you get 5 or 6%, whatever the seller is paying you. The seller gets their price. The seller gets to move on to do what they want. They get some walk around money because I'm bringing real money to the table. I'm not trying to do some 100% nonsense. They get income. They get a secured position. What do I get? I get a cash flow rental. I get to upgrade my portfolio. So I really see this as a win-win transaction. I hope to do dozens of these over the next 2 years. If you know anybody that might have a listing or something, please let me know. I'd love to talk to them. But at the end of the day, this note is for listing agents across the country and across the world. Your job is hard. Skill up, learn more things, understand your seller's position, and help them. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. It is the 14th. I will go get ready for the daily financial news shortly. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing, buddy? Ironwood, Greg, Ultimate Bargains. Yep. Guys, have fun. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.